So today we're going to be looking at shrinkflation. In the last video, we looked at the insane inflation in grocery prices. But I think another thing to keep in mind is how companies will not only increase the price, but they will make products smaller or have less volume in them. A great example would be Toblerone, where they made the gaps bigger between the chocolate to give you less chocolate. I believe Cadbury's have dropped the weight of the majority of their chocolate as well. So that's a great example. You guys let me know any examples you have of shrinkflation in the comments below. And without further ado, let's get into it.
Shrinkflation, skimpflation, deceptive packaging. Same size bottle, but they've shrunk it down from 89 ounces to 76 ounces. But they wanted it to be the same side by side so that people would not know they shrunk it. This one used to be ice cream, now frozen dairy dessert, meaning that they have skimped out on the higher cost ingredient of heavy cream. They have replaced it with lower cost ingredients, making it not qualify of having 10% cream to make it ice cream. It is now frozen dairy dessert.
That's crazy, by the way. Imagine having to call it frozen dairy dessert. I mean, there's quite a few examples of that. I know this is America where it's a little bit different. I know there is more food standards in Europe, but still, it's crazy. I mean, skimpflation is going on everywhere. We will see more UK examples later. This woman does a great job. I think I have 3 also TikToks to show from her, because like I think her whole channel is just dedicated to it, and it's amazing how many things she finds about this.
There's not enough cream to satisfy the legal definition of ice cream, just like Blue Bunny. Always real ice cream. They used to have that badge of honor, and no longer. Haagen-Dazs acting like this is a new product. You see how the logo is shaped? They are acting like they're making this new, amazing, cool thing, and they've made their ice cream the shape of their logo, meaning they have skimped out and made the middle part skinny, and they're acting like it's a good thing rather than they just wanted to give us less, and so they found a way of doing that and making it seem like it was new and cool that they're making.
I think the more egregious thing with the ice creams in particular is the fact that there's like 3 in a box for like £2.50, or in some cases for Magnum and stuff like that, it's like £3 something, even in some cases over £4 for free ice creams. You could probably make ice cream at home. I think that's how deep it is. Like, why would you buy it at that point?
Make their ice cream on a stick look like their logo. This comes just like this. You can see where the two are obviously.
I'm not gonna lie, if I saw this, I think someone stole it from me. Like, I think 2 pots got stolen if it came like this. And I think that was a great example to show exactly what shrinkflation and skimpflation is. Obviously, one, they shrink the product down, and one, they basically just give you less, or they remove an ingredient to make it cheaper for them, but they probably don't drop the price for you. We have some comments here from this TikTok saying Haagen-Dazs having only 3 bars a box pisses me off. Same really. I mean, I've never bought the 3 in a box, but I've seen the dairy milk ones and stuff like that being like £4.60 for free ice creams. Absolutely crazy. I feel like defaultly they probably give you 5, now it's 3, which is. There's another comment here saying every whipped cream is a whipped topping now because they don't want to put in the right ingredients. I saw a cookie labeled chocolate flavored chip cookie instead of chocolate chip. What the heck is a chocolate flavored chip? That is a great question, because I have no idea. If I see that on a label, you already know it's full of chemicals and it's full of shit and you shouldn't buy it. So I wouldn't even consider buying something called that. So we have a comment from one of you guys from the last video on groceries, and this is the reason I wanted to do a video on shrinkflation. Notice this too in Ireland. There's also shrinkflation, which is especially bad in toiletries, and it's something I subconsciously noticed with toiletries. I felt they were getting smaller. At least I feel like they started releasing those travel sizes that you could take on an aeroplane, and now they've been like, you know what, people will buy those. Why don't we just make those incredibly expensive and try and just make all our products smaller? He says here, Nivea for Men black and white deodorant was €249 for 250ml in the aerosol form in 2020. Now it's $318 for 150. Pantene Pro hairspray was $475 for 300 milliliters in 2020. Now it's $690 for 250, and they changed the nozzle to something cheaper and crappier, so it sometimes spits instead of mists. I've noticed that too. I only use roll-on now because I don't really like the spray on deodorant. They don't always work properly, and a lot of them are pretty shit. Like, I remember when I used to get Riot Guard, and half of the time the top bit that sprays would fall off and break. Yeah, something they definitely cheaped out on. I agree. Is there any examples you guys have of just products getting smaller in weight or in volume? I mean, I think definitely deodorants and stuff, but I think chocolates have main one I've so noticed. Junk food for sure. They've decided, you know what, the profit margins are so great, people are addicted to this food. Let's just try and give them as less as we can for as much money as we can scam out of them. So now we're gonna go on to some of the chocolate shrinkflation that I've been talking about in the video. As I thought, there is a bunch of people talking about on TikTok, so let's have a look.
Chocolates are shrinking in size but remaining the same price. This is how they're doing it. This bag of Maltesers was 102 grams. It still has it on the label. But the bag says 93 grams. So they shrunk it by 9 grams.
But that takes a level of audacity or laziness that I just can't even comprehend. How can you have a new 93 gram bag but still have it say 102 on the label? Surely you could get done for misadvertising. Not that anyone would be able to do that, but like, I'm just saying, like, that's crazy that these men don't even care enough to change the label.
Some of these Whisper Bites, they were 110 grams and now they're 100 grams. Cadbury's have done it with other chocolates as well. Crunchy Rocks were also 110 grams and now they're 100 grams.
I mean, there's barely anything in here to begin with. These are quite nice, these Crunchy Rocks. I used to get them a few years ago when they were like £1, occasionally on Nectar price. Nowadays, they're like $1.75 on Nectar, and it's like, what's the point? Like, there's like 5 in there, bro. Like, it's literally such a waste of money to get that. You might as well go get something else.
This has been done recently and some chocolates have not changed over yet. Like these Oreo Bites, they're still 110 grams, but they'll be 100 grams soon. And multi-packs of 12 bars used to get 4 in a pack. Now there's only 3 bars.
Oh dear. I remember when I was a kid, man, you used to buy these like a 12 or a Crunchy. It used to be, I think, minimum 5, and then you could get like a 10 pack, maybe a 15 pack, whatever. Nowadays, it keeps shrinking. I noticed it was 4, 3, it's probably going to be 2 soon. I just don't understand, bro. Is profit that, is it that deep? Do you have to make that much profit? If you want to make profit, go into a more profitable business than chocolate, you know?
In the pack. £2.20 for 3 12 bars in a multi-pack. That's outrageous. It's not just Cadbury's, Mars is at it as well. Galaxy Minstrels are shrinking from 217 to 195 grams. So if you still see the old bags in the shop, get them while you can. Galaxy Minstrels will be shrinking from...
I wouldn't be paying £2.15 for Minstrels, but, you know, it is what it is. Maybe £1.50, but not £2.15.
125 grams to 118 grams soon. And M&M bags are going from 125 grams to 112 grams. These crispy ones are 107 and the same price. What's that about?
I did notice Sainsbury's did have a Nectar price on a lot of these to have them at a decent price recently, but, you know, that only lasts for a week, 2 weeks. And I actually just put 2 and 2 together with Skittles, because I noticed Skittles have gone to 98p. I'm now probably 98% certain that these men probably shrank the bag of how many Skittles is in there to make it cheaper, because Skittles were about 120, similar to Haribo, and then they were like, recently they dropped it to like 98p. But it's crazy that they probably just dropped the absolute volume of stuff in the bag. So I have some comments from this TikTok saying, is the government making them do it because of obesity? I don't think so. I don't think the government has control over how much Cadbury's or Mars or whoever it may be puts in their bag. It's all about making profit. I mean, we saw if you want to go and check out the video on grocery prices, we talked all about chocolate inflation in there and how chocolate prices have gone up so much. I don't think the government are forcing them to drop portions. I mean, people will say anything on TikTok, bro. It's the sugar tax. Again, sugar tax. I've only really noticed it in sugary drinks, and mainly only Coca-Cola is just way more expensive than Diet Coke. But sugar tax is usually only 10p. So like when you go to a McDonald's or a Burger King, you get the 10p plus option. So while sugar tax may be a weird tax to have, I don't think it necessarily makes that much a difference, you know. And then we have another one that says unpopular opinion, but I'm glad they are treats and supposed to only be eaten every now and then. Cheap junk food supports the obesity crisis, and you can get a 6-pack of kiwis for about 150. I believe it's actually 120 you could get a 6-pack of kiwis. But yeah, I mean, I agree that junk food is not good, but then again, everyone eats it now and then. Some people are addicted to it for sure, but I don't think putting the price of it prices anyone out of it, really and truly, because you just look at people who smoke cigarettes, bro. They've been upping that for, I don't know how long they've been putting extra taxes on cigarettes. It's been forever, because my dad smokes, and I remember him paying like anything from £5 when I was a kid all the way now. I don't even know what they cost now. Probably £15 for the little packet of cigarettes. Who knows? But they keep taxing cigarettes, yet nobody stops smoking, bro. Like, if people are addicted to a product, they're going to keep paying it. So these people just really and truly, the government are just putting taxes on it. And so now we're going to look at even more chocolate shrinkflation, mainly about stuff like Quality Street. I mean, Quality Street, Celebrations, Heroes, those big tubs of chocolate you would get at Christmas, or people would just buy. I remember our grandparents used to buy them as gifts to take to other countries for people, but I've noticed they're getting a lot smaller, and this woman makes a great video comparing it over the decades, so let's have a look at that.
This is probably one of the best examples of shrinkflation that has happened over time. Now, we know this is not a brand new issue. We know this has been going on for decades, and this is a great example from the 80s, the 90s, the aughts, now today. And even since this, there has been an increased shrinkflation. Toilet paper is a classic example, but not only is it the number of sheets per roll, it's how the length and the width have also
that's something most people probably won't notice either.
Both decreased. Not to mention that sometimes you can see through to your hand with some brands. And it's also how big this circle is.
What I've noticed is, obviously there's different levels of thickness you could get. The cheapest ones tend to have big rolls like that just because they're thinner. So they give you more to give an illusion, I think.
Brands will also sometimes make this wider, like bigger around, so that people don't have such a glaring example when they go to replace their roll.
No,
so
fair.
Make the cardboard piece bigger around. So
maybe that's what I noticed then. That's interesting.
So that the outsides can sort of match. Because all of this is about making sure that the customers are not catching on to the fact that they are giving us less and charging us the same or more. But we are catching on, and so they're getting more and more clever at trying to deceive us. Oreos are a classic example because they have definitely shrunk the amount of...
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even like Oreos, so I don't remember ever seeing an Oreo with this little amount of white filling in it though.
The cream, not only is it like less this way, but it doesn't go all the way to the edge anymore. And I don't know if it ever went all the way to the edge, but it definitely went closer to the edge than it does now. But also...
That almost looks like the same filling as a bourbon, bro. I mean, if you're from America, you may not know what a bourbon is. I don't know if you have them over there, but it's like a chocolate biscuit with some chocolate cream in the middle. Always very thin. Oreos, I remember being a bit thicker. Although I think the last time I did have the double stuffed Oreos, which was even then it was a long time ago. So maybe that's why it was more.
Whatever they're calling the family pack or the party pack now is what the normal package used to be. This Dove bar soap, 113 grams, down to 106 grams, down to 100 grams, down to...
Yeah, 90 grams, yeah.
It's not just gum and snacky things, it's medicines too. Aleve from 100 down to 90.
I mean, there you have it. For me, this is even more egregious than just regular them putting up the grocery prices, because they're giving you less for your money. Not only are they trying to make you pay and adjust the cost, and look, everyone understands that prices go up, so things will go up. But when you start getting less for what you pay for, it becomes a bit insulting. You know what I mean? It becomes more of a scam, in my opinion. It's like these companies are trying to just extort every little penny they can, right? So we've looked at mainly British examples so far. We're going to go around the world to show this is a normal thing happening everywhere, not just in the UK and America, which are the two places we've seen so far. So this one is mainly based on American shrinkflation. So let's have a look.
So these are 6-packs and these are 5-packs, but the new ones are going to 4.
Oh my god. So they have the audacity to put the 5 and the 4-pack next to each other. That's crazy work. I mean, there you go. Similar thing happening in the UK. We've seen that already with them dropping the chocolate. I mean, a 4-pack, really? Just leave it at 5. It's a nice round number, you know what I mean? 5, 10, just do it like that. Makes more sense to me. So I wanted to show you guys this one, because this one just ended me, bro. What is this? Like, you know those boxes of chocolates, whether it's Thornton's or what's the Dairy Milk one called? I can't remember, but like just milk tray, that's what I was thinking of. Look at the gaps between the chocolate, bro. I remember them having like a bunch of chocolates like all over the place last time I had them, which again, granted was a very long time ago, but bloody hell, mate. What the hell is this? Like you could easily fit like another 5 on there, and usually they come in 2 trays. But now they're probably giving you 1 tray worth of chocolate when it used to be a double tray in the 2 little trays, which is absolutely insane, mate. What? Why? Well, we know why, so they can extort profit, but still. Now we're going to look at another example from this woman. Like I said, she's been cataloging shrinkflation very well, so let's have a look.
Talk about a perfect resource for shrinkflation. This guy collects Pringles containers. So he has these actually physically in his house from 1968, what it looked like, to 2025 to compare. This is the 1990s in Europe. This is the 2010s.
So are they sealed? I mean, I guess you're just collecting them. You can't eat them, but...
in Asia and what it is now. Look at this. This isn't even all of them that he has. It's a much more interesting version of Pringles than the one that I usually get, which is people showing how little is actually...
I'm pretty sure, I mean, we saw that the newer cans there are bigger than the older cans. They probably used to fill the older cans to the top. Now they just give you a bigger can and don't fill it up. That's exactly what it is, to make them look bigger.
In their jars, cans, things, containers. These candies are going from 9 per package to 8 per package. And
should be 10.
you know that they didn't start out at 9. They definitely started out as 10.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
May 2025, 1.3 pounds. This is now, July, 1 pound. Even sauces now come about half empty. And
I actually have noticed that some things like sauces, cream, they do come with a lot less in the canister than being full.
anything with any sort of filling just does
What
not
is
look
that?
anything
That
like
doesn't even look
packaging.
edible, I'm not going to lie.
Right? Horsey sauce. That is such a huge change. It's down from 16 fluid ounces down to 12 fluid ounces.
I mean, there you go. Just even more examples of shrinkflation happening all over the world, not just in England or America. Now we're going to have one from Australia.
I swear, this whole shrinkflation thing, just taking the piss at this point. Have a suss of this. So historically, a block of chocolate here in Australia was always sort of around that $3-4 mark. At most in recent times, about $5. If I'm feeling it, I need some chocolate, $5, I'll pay it. But this is absurd.
$8.
Frickin' dollars for a block of chocolate.
Well, we need to know what $8 Australian dollars is in pounds. So that's about £4 then.
Chocolate at, what was it, 180 gram block of chocolate or something? I'm in the way. 180 grams. right? They're trying to flog it.
180 grams, so it's not the smallest one. The smallest one now is 90 grams. It's a slightly bigger one, which is still double what we pay here, by the way. Because, I mean, they are doing it on the nectar price, which is about what we would pay. Because $1 Australian is equal to 49p or so, what I just looked. So it's about the same price. This would be about £2.50. But if they're charging £5 for that on a normal price, that's crazy.
Yeah, as being half price, right? So they're claiming you're saving $4. You pay
When $4 was probably the original price, by the way.
$4 or $2.22 per 100 grams. Absurd that anyone has to pay $8 for a block of chocolate. But suss this. This is stupid. To add insult to injury, they're now selling this 100-gram block
For $3.50.
for $3.50. So, based on historical sort of figures, if you're looking at a block of chocolate and thinking, oh yeah, it's going to be around $4, nah.
I mean, similar price to the UK, although that might be cheaper than our one. We don't even do, I think they do 90 grams now, and it's almost 170, 180 or something now.
Half the size, pretty much, for the same price. So what they're basically saying is, Coles, Woolies, all of that, they're basically saying what you would consider is like half of the block, you're paying double for now. Are you fucking kidding me? Coles, Woolies, Cadbury, all of you? Get your shit together. What the fuck is it?
They don't care, bro, because people still buy it. The thing is, most people probably don't even notice things are decreasing until they have been decreased for a while. That includes everyone on TikTok thingy. So, I mean, I don't notice it in the store for the most part. Like, you notice it a while later. I mainly notice prices going up rather than them dropping the amount you get. That's why shrinkflation is so much more insidious, in my opinion, than just blatantly upping prices, because it's a lot harder to notice. And we have a comment here saying, I remember getting 10 Snickers for like £1 7 years ago. And then we have a reply to that saying, I remember thinking those 4 packs for £1 were a bargain. So do I. Like when they were doing like 4 Mars bars for £1 or something, I was like, yeah, that's good. Getting the 10 Snickers, like however long ago it was, for £1, I mean, yeah, you're never going to see that again, let's be honest. And the final one we're going to look at is in a pound shop. Now, pound shops probably have the lowest quality produce, or whatever you want to call it. They're probably the place I'd most expect to see both inflation and skimpflation, and shrinkflation, just because they are riding on the lowest of lowest profit margins. So they're probably going to be scamming you. I mean, most pound shops aren't pound shops. One of the pound shops near my house that has been there forever is actually closing down. So, I mean, I think most pound shops soon will be out of business just because they can't compete. But let's have a look at the shrinkflation in pound shops.
Poundland, why?
Poundland being one of the most popular ones in the UK.
Poundland, why are you advertising a 20 pack of plastic cups when there's like 17 in them? I counted. And then I tried to go to the next one, there's 18 in them.
I bet they don't even count them.
Didn't count anymore because they all look the same height. Why are you advertising a 20 pack when there's 17 or 18? It's really not that hard to put two more in. Or just advertise as an 18 pack. But that's really false advertising, and like, I don't really have a choice, I have to buy it. But like, it's very frustrating. Like, regardless, we're going to buy it. Just be honest and put 18 pack on it.
Well, I think that's kind of part of the problem, isn't it? She still said she's just going to buy it. If you're just going to still buy it, then they can do whatever they want and you're still going to buy it. You're still going to be taken advantage of. Personally, if I had to get them, I wouldn't get them from the pound shop then. If they were absolutely scamming, even if they were still the cheapest, I would purposely take my business elsewhere and pay that little bit extra just to make the statement. You know, if enough people do that, they'll probably stop trying to scam. Although with Poundland, I wouldn't put it past them to drop it to 15 and still advertise it as 20. So I think the main examples that I've seen now is Toblerone. I mean, there's the classic picture of the Toblerone being wider. I'll put it on the screen, which is crazy. I think Fredo's, like the fudges, the chomps, all those old 5p chocolates that are now almost £1 each. They've also got smaller in weight, by the way, and size. Haribo's were a thing that were always quite cheap. And now I think they've dropped the size of the, especially the big tubs. Like the big tubs that are like £3 cost more per 100 grams than the packets do, which is crazy. And then you have the toiletries that he mentioned earlier in the video, which was also something that I've seen a lot of. We've seen a lot of great examples. You guys let me know in the comments what you've seen in terms of shrinkflation and skimpflation. And if you enjoyed that video, I'm sure you enjoyed some others, and I will leave them on the screen now. But yeah, that's all for today. I'll see you all in the next one.